welcome to Random Stuff with Maxine, where I share my stuff with you on the show. It's Wednesday.
They need to accept us like that.
Okay, so we are sorry we are late.
Yeah.
It's not like we are laughing because we are happy we are late. Not at all. We are sorry we are late, and let's do this. So this is Wednesday morning edition of Random Stuff with Maxine, and this morning I seem to have a lot of confusion in my head. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, why not talk to my friends, my family, and everybody who connects with me? Now we've become like a community, right? Yeah. And so why not talk to the community of viewers and listeners and audience and lovers and all that this morning about this? I honestly think we are all guilty of this offense. Okay, the offense of waiting patiently for something to happen, and then we go like, I told you so. We've all done this thing before. This whole I told you so moment. We've also had I told you so moment where other people can look us in the face and say, I told you. And usually when they say I told you so, it means that the thing did not go well. They had anticipated that it won't go well. They gave you all the necessary guidelines, and yet you went ahead. Have you ever gone through a situation whereby you are just on the road? I mean, driver, you have a passenger, be it a friend, a loved one, and person like, can we use this route? You're like, no, let's use the other route. Oh, this one is, there's less traffic on this one. You go back and forth. Finally, you just hold on to your gun and say, let's use this route. And lo and behold, you use the road, and the traffic is even worse than you could even anticipate. There are times that our parents will say, would you want to do this first before you do the other thing? And you go like, oh, I want to do this per my calculations when I do this. Then you start with the first one that you're supposed to have used as the second one, and then you don't finish on time. Your parents like, I told you so. I don't know. And see, sometimes it might sound as if I'm being blunt, but we are own evildoers. Sometimes we are waiting patiently for things not to turn out right for people, and then we say, I told you so. And other times too, we have the best of intentions. We do. So a typical example, you know that friend is dating that guy that that guy has a record that he's not too good with women. He will disappoint you in the middle part. And you know the person, you have seen them do the things they know how to do best. And this is your friend who says, I have fallen head over heels in love with this guy. And in your heart, you are afraid for that person. And you try as much as possible to let the person know all the red flags that is available, and they won't listen. By the time you realize, oh, they're already in a relationship, and in your heart, you cannot accept the fact that your friend has opened him or herself up to be broken. And so there are times in your heart you are just praying, it does not work. This must not work. This should not go anywhere. Just as you are concerned for your friend, you are also embittered about the fact that she doesn't want to take your advice. And so you are torn between, or do you want to sit down, as somebody say, chillax, and watch what happens at the end of the day? Story gone bad. 6 months down the lane, there's a breakup. Your friend comes back to you with all the tears, with all the pains, and you know that this is something that could have been avoided. This is something that you were so sure, your guts told you that no way, give all the necessary advice you have to give. But the person at the end of the day opted for what is best for them. It is a good time to say my revenge has come, or it has come to pass. And it is nice when that person tells you that I told you so. A friend tells me about her choice of husband. Those times he was just dating the guy. He says when the guy, you know how grown-ups are. He said when the guy got into his father's sitting room, I mean, upon chatting with the guy, when the guy just left, the father was like, "When no." And you know, the man spoke from an elderly perspective. I don't know what he saw. I don't know what body language the guy gave for him to know that, Charlie, this guy will not be a good son-in-law. But see, this is your daughter in love with somebody. God, I mean, we all know, probably have courted for God knows how many months and years. And this is a person he wants to settle with. To cut a long story short, the marriage did not go well. She's back to her house. Can't remind her that the first time I saw this guy, I was so honest about my impression about him. But you will not listen. So we've all had I told you so moment. And it is just we waiting patiently for things not to go well. And then tell the people, I warn you. Are we worried about people unnecessarily? Or it hurts that sometimes you know this person is going down the drain, is playing with fire, and you are telling the person, this is fire, I have walked this path, it did not settle well with me, it did not end well with me, can you watch it? And they will not listen. How bad does it hurt? Tell me. You have siblings, you're trying to advise them in well, they will not listen. You have tried your possible best, and there are times that you are just waiting for the I told you so moment, so that you know that they bit more than they could chew. But is it always advisable to always protect the people we love? Don't you think over the period we have protected people too much, that we do not allow them to make their own mistakes? Somebody is listening and say, Maxine, what is there in allowing somebody to make his or a whole mistake? The mistake might not end the person well. But the question is, why are people adamant? Why would they not heed to the advice we give? Sometimes they're out of experience. Sometimes you also do not even have proof to show that what this person is doing will not end well. So the best you can do is to advise. You advise and the person is thinking that, who are you to advise me? I am grown. I know left from right. I know good from bad. As an American will say, I got this. I got it. So please spare me all your advice. Do you sit down and not do nothing? Have you ever come across a situation where you knew that a little intervention would help save somebody's life from committing one of the worst mistakes, but just that over the period you have offered so many advice that people do not take, and you are just like, this time around I'm in my corner, I'm minding my own business. If it ends well, hallelujah. If it doesn't end well, you will get your I told you so moment. There are times we are aching. Their own siblings, cousins, family members, work colleague. You know how it is like with this whole financial scam that came up some years back. I won't mention names. There are people who still have the I told you so moment. There are people who had candid advice from family members, loved ones. This thing, I don't trust it. Don't invest your money. Now you see, the bad part is that after it went bad, there are people who cannot even be honest about it. There are people who have money locked, and they know that people offered good advice, but the person then was thinking, this is me investing my own money. Who are you to tell me what to do with my own money? Sometimes the advice that people gave was even out of experience. They had been scammed in the past, and they give you all the indicators, and you're like, oh, it is not like the one you did. This one they say is different. Now your money is locked. You can't even disclose the amount. You can't even tell the person that, oh, upon your advice, I went the other way, Charlie, I didn't do as you said, and it went bad. we can't even admit when it goes bad. And we think that the people who are seated and willing and unconsciously would want to say, I told you so, are devils. Have you ever tried doing something novel? You are not too sure about whether or not it will work, but somebody tells you that this is going to work, just give it a shot. That is also an I told you so. Then you try it, you give it a shot, and it works. And so there are times that they are positive, give it a shot, try it, take this advice, and it works. And there's an I told you so at the end of the day, which is to your own benefit. But many a times the I told you so comes with all the negative connotation. Same catch-all. There are times that my sister, then we used to have a lot of just willing and ready to say I told you so. You know, then the things that she was pointing out were things I was not seeing. And there are times people point out things to us not because they envy us, not because they don't want us well, but there are times that people genuinely want our welfare, and we cannot decipher, because then you are in love. Then you are bent on pursuing a particular agenda. Then this is the man you have settled with, or in your mind you have projected your future with this person, and you don't need any negative vibes. Caution must get you back on your feet. But do we even cherish the cautions we are given? Do we cherish the people who are always there to say, can you take your time with this? Can you just date a little while? Now you go and say date a little while. The person is thinking that, oh, at your age you are not married. I've gotten somebody who wants to marry me, a show. And so, madam, find your own bone of your bone and rib of your rib, and deal with your own matter. But there are things that you are seeing that the person is not seeing. For some of us, we are prophets in our families. Prophets without honor. You say the saying because of familiarity. So nobody wants to take you seriously. There are times that you say it and you don't even know that it is the Spirit of God that is leading you to talk to that person. But they will take it as a joke. And then later when you realize that no, this was supposed to have been said in confidence, that check this, then you realize that no. Have we shunned our duties even as children of God to advise people and not to wait for that time that things goes very bad and we go like I told you so? Are you the I told you kind of person? See, there are times when the people are stubborn, they deserve an I told you so. And we are all waiting for that person. Dominic, aren't you waiting for somebody? You are waiting,
Not really, but I do get those kind of things. Yeah.
I told you so.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you get the I told you so moment. Mm-hmm. There are people who are also in your life that constantly they are telling you things. They are like they are foretelling what will happen.
Sadly.
They are like prophet and prophetess of doom.
Yeah.
It is not like once or twice. Constantly all you get is negative vibes. But I ask myself this: do we worry too much about people making mistakes? Are we overly protecting people? Can't we allow people to make their own mistake, own them, and do the right thing at the end of the day? Or it is just a human feeling that you cannot see that your brother is going to fall in fire and allow him to be roasted? And so by this you want to put things in place, extra mile to prevent their children from doing certain things. At the end of the day, these children become rebellious. They do not understand why mommy does not want me to do A, B, or C. There are times that our parents have protected us from relatives, and we think that, oh no, mommy, you are just being heartless. That was some time back. And your mother's like, you don't know your auntie more than I do, or you don't know this uncle more than I do. Can you shut up and listen? And you know, with all your scholarly things, you are thinking, no way. There are times that people have warned others about certain families they should marry, and they are like, no way, that was then, they've changed and all that. And then you get into it and realize that The moment you know that this did not go as planned, the moment you realize that I was warned, they didn't listen. There are moments too that it was just an encouragement, and you went with that, and it ended well. Now my question is, why do I get worried when people are not taking my advice? Why do I get worried when you know that probably you tried this job, it didn't work? Will it not work for Kwame because it didn't work for you? Are we overly protective? Is it out of genuineness? Is it out of the sincerity of our hearts that we offer advice? Must we wait for the day of doom to come? For some of us, we are just waiting for it. Oh, we are waiting for that perfect moment. And that is all we know. Wait for that moment that the person will hit hard and then they will come back. When they come back and they don't even tell you, you hear about it. And in your own closet, they'll become a laughing stock. Must we always tell people, I told you so? No. One, for the simple reason, it might escalate the situation. Yeah. You use the wrong route. You have met traffic that is Gangantuan. In that same car, you want to be telling, yes, I told you, blah, 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 blah. It would escalate the situation, yeah. Anger will arise, and that is it. In the moment where your advice is not taken, and the person goes by their own instinct and intuition, can you not create an argument out of it? And I am learning this. It's really tough for me, but I hope you are also listening and you would want to apply it. That is difficult, trust me. Difficult, extremely difficult for me, knowing and seeing that you are going to hit the road hard. Check it. And the person says no. And so there are proverbs in Chi like akrapa de kokoenwa yedinamrama necheno. It means that if you are not too careful about what you are being told about, you get fire go burn you. We have said all these things. And the child will still go near that fire. Till they are burnt, they don't learn their lesson. Are we allowing people to make their own mistake? Are we allowing people to own their own mistake? Are we allowing people to grow on their own and develop their own independence? See, whether you take somebody's advice or not, at the end of the day, is dependent on you. Yeah. You can always not get somebody guiding you. You have to make your own mistakes. You have to take advice. You have to weigh the options, see what works for you, and then go all out and work with what your gut tells you. Have we protected people over the period? You know, sometimes you are too protective of them that later on they tend to blame you. They tend to blame you because you didn't give them room to operate. I didn't want to do this course, and you were the one who told me. Now I have done the course, and now I can't get a job. Sometimes they get jobs, and you're like, I told you should do nursing. So that I told you so is always like both ways. But most often than not, we tend to dwell on the negative. It's Random Thought with Maxine. This morning, I'm asking this simple question. Do we worry our head unnecessarily about people making mistakes? Is it like we genuinely care that they should not get hurt, and so we want to guide them each step along the way? Do you think we are overdoing it? Do you think that we are not allowing people to make their own mistakes? Have you been guided to the point that you realize that no way, there are things that I should have done all by myself, bore the consequences, and live with the aftermath of my consequences? I'll be right back. Okay, Okay, so we are back this morning. We're talking I told you so, where we can't wait to tell that person, send me too full. I advise you, you didn't take my advice. Because most often than not, we have gone through the mail and we know how it is like. It's that this guy is definitely going to crash. Or this lady is going to crash with the way he or she is living his or her life. But there are times that even our unsolicited advice is not needed. And there are times that you are hurting because you see danger ahead. And all the signs are glaring that there is danger ahead. But the person does not want to. There are times too, we are doing all these things because we have had experiences in the past that were very terrible. And we knew that, okay, in our next life, we should be able to train people better. We should be able to caution. But sometimes, don't you think we do it too much? You do it too much. You got pregnant in school with your first child. So any guy who comes around your daughter is a possible impregnator. And so your fear is what you have transferred. And sometimes how it is that maybe upon you getting pregnant, the treatment you had from your mother and all that, and you're thinking, no daughter of mine is going to go through what I went through. And so for you, when it comes to protecting, saving your turf, you would always do that. There are times that even in our bid to speak to the conscience of the people we think might get into trouble, you need proof to back your claims. Sometimes there is nothing to show. The person says he wants to venture into this business. You have not tried it. But there's a part of you that thinks that, oh no, you shouldn't try it now. Is it popular? Will you get? But you have also not tried it. It's not like you have tried and it failed and you are rendering advice. And so there are times that you don't even have proof to support your claims that it won't work. But must you still hold on and concoct things to get the person off that track? See, I won't sit here this morning and stroke you and say that, oh, you will not make a mistake. You would make a mistake. We have made a lot of poor choices, bad ones. There are times that maybe the advice would have helped us, but we didn't take it. So we made our own mistakes and we learned the hard way. There are times too we took the advice. It ended well and we knew that we were just saved by the bell. And that's how come I think through it and I'm like, how does God feel when we make poor choices every day? Like he says, my daughter, this is where you are going, no, it will not help you. And he would go an extra mile and give us the Holy Spirit to guide us, to counsel us, and yet we will ignore and we'll do our own thing. And he knows that we are just heading towards doom. How does he feel as a father? Because sometimes even your siblings are like, what bread? Like you're tired. And you are saying the same thing and they are not putting their lives on the right track. And your mother will call you, advise this one, next one, and the next one will come. And you're like, don't you see you're going to mess your life up? And I wonder, I say, is this how God sees us? Like when we make poor choices. But you see, interestingly, he doesn't say, I told you so. He says, come just as you are. Now, I'm learning. It's difficult. It's difficult to sit and watch and not say anything. It's extremely difficult. It's difficult when you speak to somebody from the depth of your heart and they do the opposite. It's difficult when you see that this person is heading towards disaster and they cannot see that it's disaster that lies ahead. They are clueless. But this is one thing I'm trying. The ones I don't have control over, I say a prayer. Because it hurts that person that you are trying to take out of fire will still add petrol and kerosene to that same fire that you are trying to quench. Right under your nose. It's difficult when you know that amount of school fees that you are paying, that the person is not putting in effort to learn, will end the person on the street. It's difficult to see and not talk. It's difficult to see and not advise. It's difficult not to say that, oh, who am I to talk? But in your heart, you know that you want to talk some. It's difficult. Now, what do we do? I don't know. Tell me. Tell me, how have you managed the I told you so moment? Are you still friends with the people, or you think they were just waiting for you to crash? And then they will say, oh, you are. We said it. Do you still begrudge the people who kind of like gave you some heads up, and yet you did not take, and it didn't end well? Sometimes we think they are the devils. Example, those times my mother, I used to tell her that, Mama, when my mother says, hold that cup well, otherwise it will break, the next moment is on the floor. And she is quick to say, "Some catch you." And so I'm like, don't say it. Don't say it will break. So once he says, remove that cup from the table, because the next 10 is that your mug will be on the floor, all in broken pieces. Is there somebody broken in your life, and you know that they are adding more salt to injury? How are you dealing with them? Me dear, my brain, you're tired, right? I am also tired. Dominic, you're tired.
In fact, that is one of the things. So if all those who are in my contacts, if you check my status, I wrote something. I think early, if not early this morning, yesterday late in the night.
Okay.
That obedience is godly. Okay, back to the basis. There's something there's some kind of project that we started, and it was like the people around us. Okay, we try to advise and see where your interest is, and then we kind of help in the way that we. But we tried to a point, and we saw that once you trying to lift the person is digging to enter, and so we said, if the people are not interested, then let's leave it.
But you see potential.
And yes, so early this year, it keeps coming back to me. Okay, and anything exactly. So yesterday in the night, I was praying, and then I was reflecting on it, and it came back to me. Obedience is godly. Go back to the basics. And anytime I try to do it, I struggle. It's like I'm invading someone else's privacy. Why are you pushing the person to be something the person does not want to?
Exactly. And you know, sometimes I feel like we just want people to live our lives.
Exactly.
And so somebody must live your life. But you see, sometimes, as Dominic said, there are times you see potential, the person does not. There are times you see harm, the person does not.
Exactly.
There are times you see danger, the person does not. And you're like, can't you see that this fire is blazing hot? Can't you just see? And so those times I used to think so much about how easily it is to get to other people. And there are people who are, and the part that hurts is the people who are close to you.
That is where the pain is.
The people that are very close to you, like as much as possible to let them know that. So I could understand the pain of the father who sits in his sitting room that morning for her only daughter to come. Sometimes when I watch traditional marriages and fathers are like, take care of my daughter. No, so it comes with that emotion. I'm like, there was this one the man literally cried. And her daughter too was crying. As I said, I mean, no, they can cry. And I'm like, if a man like this, with all the fears and uncertainties are surrounding that groom, will tell the daughter that I'm not sure of this guy, but since you say this is the one you like, go ahead.
Sure.
And your father has stepped on both your feet with your answer, left, right, but you didn't mind, and because at that time maybe you were in love. The lady said, I came back to the house with my 2 children. Guess what? In my head I'm thinking the dad was like, this was so avoidable. This was so avoidable. But guess what? She's learned her lesson. Are we ready to accept whatever choice people make at the end of the day, especially when advice is not taken? Do we hold people in our hearts? Is there somebody you are not fine with? Because you know that, and especially it has to do with relationship. You know you have stepped on the feet of a brother just to let them. I tell you, they are dating secretly, and they are not giving you heads up, and you are hurting. Is there a relationship that has gone sour just because your friend just defied your orders? There are times too we know that it is not going well. The things are just hitting us in the face, but we are afraid that the person at the end of the day who warned us will have the last laugh and say, I told you so. So because of pride and ego, we do not even want to take in a lot of things, a lot of demeaning things, because you were warned, you didn't listen. How do you go back to that same person and lay down all the problems you are currently facing? There are people who are opinionated about everything. Can we just chill for people? It's tough, but can we chill? I know, Maxine, you are heartless. I am not. This thing, I'm even struggling with it. Who will see fire and say, my daughter, go and enter fire? But you see, at the end of the day, you have alerted, this is fire. When it burns you, you might be in the hospital for years or days or months. You might not get your skin as it used to be. You have laid bare all the negatives. The person says, it is still the fire I want to touch. Can we wish them God's blessings and pray for them? Because there are times that we do not have control.
Exactly.
Have you lost control? Will you want to give up and commit the ones that you cannot do? Do your possible best by alerting.
Sure.
Tell the person the dangers that lies ahead. If they take your advice, super. If they don't, we'll just say a prayer for them. We'll be right back.
You live on Peny Radio, your number one online Christian radio station. Peny Radio, hope for the hopeless.
All right, so I told you so. Asema Mikei no da ho wara kasaba chokwe. There used to be a song like that. I think it was Papa that said Asema Mikei no da ho wara kasaba chokwe efufe banchire de. And you know, like girl going to school, concentrate on, we are following boys. When you get pregnant, no, you know, go to antenatal and see, you receive all the insults. And so there are times we have even sung songs, and you know, you are just dancing this tune in your head, in your house, because Charlie, you said it. And sometimes it doesn't even take time for it to manifest. Not even years. For some, it will take years before the person will realize. But times it's as quick as some few months. Then somebody said, this is your stone. Collect your stone. I have brought your stone. Because I said it and you did not comply. So it's Random Talk with Maxine this morning. We are trying to talk. I told you so. Have you had some I told you so moments where you wanted to take left and you said take right? Then when you went, my dog started chasing you. And that thing alone can spark a whole fight, especially when it has to do with two people. Let's go to the wedding at 9. Oh, we are not late. When you go, no, they say they have closed. Then, so we all have the choice of telling people, I told you so. We have all done it before. But please, let's stick to the choice that is not quick to say, I told you so. Obi say, but I told you so. So if it has come, and it is what I said, why should I massage it and be going round in circles when it's the truth? They know. So sometimes it's unnecessary to remind them of their pain. For them, they cannot tell you that you told me so. It's just a few people. See, Charlie, you advise so, but I didn't take your advice. It's just a few people who would admit that, Charlie, you tell me now so bad, I didn't give it a listening ear. And can we listen even to our innermost being? Sometimes we fail to listen to our instincts. We fail. There are times that when you listen to your instincts, somebody only comes to confirm it.
Sadly.
And then it works.
Sadly.
But there are times, you know, your instincts are dead. Your guts are dead. You are thinking lovey. So all the things are not just like in place. There are times that I told you so moments are not even people who are advising, it's just a word they will drop.
Yeah.
It's just a line. It's just like, be careful.
Yeah.
It's just like, please watch your steps.
Yeah.
And it is not like it's people who have employed them to come and be saying things to you. Sometimes it's just the voice of God using other people to alert you. Which voice will you listen to? Are you willing to make your own mistakes? But when you confirm with your instinct and with the inner voice that resides in you, are you going and are you willing to make a better choice? Do make a better choice. Make a choice to listen to your instinct. Make a choice to make informed decisions. Make your own mistakes. But Charlie, minimize the margin of error. Let's minimize it, because we have what it takes. There are times that you are clueless and it happens. Sometimes you cannot blame yourself. And can you stop blaming yourself? And I was told, and I meant you, sometimes that is all the song we sing.
Yeah.
For years now, we are still living and wallowing in the past and in the regrets. And so you are listening right now, and there's so much regret you have because your I told you so moment has come, or it came some years back, but you still cannot forgive yourself. No, forgive, let go, lessons learned, mistakes made, learn from those mistakes, move on, and do not rely and live in the past, because the I told you so moment must be moment for learning and not moment for pitying yourself. Have you learned your lessons? Is there a lesson you are currently learning which is from the I told you so moment? How deep were you hurt? Was it good you took that advice? Do you want to take an advice? What are the steps you take before you think, this person's advice is worthy of imbibing? Look at all these factors. Look at all these things. And be sure you make an informed decision. It's been Random Thought with Maxine. It's the Wednesday edition. And this morning, I just want us to think through something that we all do. This is your portion. And there are times too that I told you so moments and positive ones. Just a shout out. Just, you are good to go. You can try it. And then the results are just like somebody will alert you, watch your tie. Then you just paid attention to that tie. Then you realize that, if you had not paid attention, you probably somewhere else. It's an I told you watch your tie. So you did. And the results thereof was something that was fruitful. Thank you so much for always connecting with us. Dominic, is there something you want to say?
I just want to do another.
Okay, sure.
You know that there are times that you see that this person needs help, okay, and you're pushing that much, and if you do not take care, you sacrifice your own something that is valuable to you at the expense of that person's. And that time it's not like they are not seeing what you're telling them, but that humility to say, it's true, what you're telling me is good. You know, some people don't want, is this person who helped me to do this?
They don't.
So if you meet such a person, the best you can do it, you say it, and the rest you pray. You pray about it. You know, let me say that there's something about my wife. If she tells you something and you brush it off, there's the moment you hear that obeji wenisu. It means that she's not speaking about it again.
She's out of the equation. Yeah,
that is it.
Yeah.
So there should be.
You had this term and kanuna na she says waji wenisu.
Yeah, you get it. Obeji wenisu, and that's something that I've been praying. I've been praying for that. I do not become a prophet of doom in someone else's life. That I say it and you do not take it and it happens. So anytime I advise and you do not take it, then I pray, God, give this person a sign. Yeah. So that it doesn't come true and then it comes to fall on your shoulders again. Because if you're going through something, I tell you, you do not take it and you go ahead to do it. and that bad thing happens, I feel guilty as though I did not do anything about it. I just told you. What was the next step? You get it? So, yeah, we cannot push much into people's life. But once we let them know about what is ahead, we should also be helping them in prayer. Because, with some of them, the ego will not allow them to.
And you are blinded.
Exactly.
Like sometimes you use your own strengths.
Exactly.
And you realize that no way, it's still not yielding results. And it hurts.
It hurts. Yeah.
Like these few days I've been very pensive. Like I'm thinking through it like a jabo.
A jab. I don't know why this year. Is it everybody who has this heart that I'm being a bit cautious? Like most people do have it, as Ghanaians, but some kind of experience is making lots of people selfish. Let me be careful. And I have personal experience. Okay. So the fact that there are some people you concentrate so much on, okay, and you lose a lot. Not sometimes when you say you lose a lot, people think in terms of money. No. But far beyond that, you see that you've sacrificed lots of your things that you could have done in trying to push them. Yeah. And you don't see them pushing. Yeah. You don't see them pushing. Yeah. So the best you can do is you pray for them, you pray with them, and you ask God to give them a sign. That's the best you can do. So are we asking God to give them, like, Father, what I am seeing, let this guy see it. Exactly. Like, let him see that where he's heading towards, it won't end well. Yeah. And there are times it ends well. Exactly. There are times it will end well. Exactly. Like what you were seeing, maybe was just out of emotions and all that, and you become the prophet of doom. Exactly. So now I will say, or you thought it will not have ended well. Now that is it. Yeah. But you see, I don't think somebody will want to step or downfall. No. There are times we have miscalculated. Yeah. We have misjudged people. Yeah. Maybe that man saw something in that guy. If the marriage did not end badly as it did, probably the daughter would have said, okay, when I was going to marry him, my father said, no, but see, our marriage is working. Exactly. But there are times too, it works. And so, I don't know if it is the emotions that takes the better part of us, that we also fail to see the other aspects, whether it will work or not. But if you honestly understand our pain, like if you have seen something, you have identified potential, you have identified danger, and you are like, no way, it is my job to do this. So I'll share this with you. I used to, when you're in a car with somebody and the glass is rolled up, there are people, and it's dark, there are no lights in it. There are people who stand by your cars and things, and you don't know there are people inside. Yeah. So they used to be to stand like that. There used to be this time like that when I am in the car with my friend, we are talking, and they forgetfully they come to stand there and they do their things. Yeah. I'm like, just honk or give them light. When I say give them light, let them know that this is not appropriate. You can't do this here. Sure. Then you'll be there and be enjoying. But me, I'm all serious about it. I'm like, honk. Let them know that people see what they are doing. And so I don't know if we have different hearts. Or there are people who just will take things casually. Don't mind them. When they get pregnant, they will learn their lesson. Exactly. When he falls down, he will pick himself up. Exactly. There are people who are like that. They are as blunt as that. Yeah. But some of us, we don't want them to get pregnant. Or you don't want him to get hurt. Yeah. Or you don't want him to lose that money. Yeah. And so lessons must be learned the hard way. Leave them. Sure. So I don't know what kind of heart you have. Are we being sentimental? Or we are being... like we are just sometimes there's no problem, but we want to create as if there is problem. Anna, you see, this Jonah and the story of Nineveh. Yeah. You see, Jonah had to go through all these things to tell the people of Nineveh that God will destroy you, and it was true.
Yeah, yes.
The people change their mind.
Yeah.
And if someone is sitting somewhere, say that Jonah came to prophesy and did not come true. God, why didn't you destroy them? But probably the people changed their mind. So it could be that when you told them, they took some measures, but you did not see those measures. And so it worked for them. You get it? And then you sit and blame yourself. God, why did you reveal this to me about this person? It was not true. That at times is true. The people do something about it, but
you don't know. You don't know.
And because they did not also give you feedback, that, thank you for what you said, and it pushed you down. It said, anytime God reveals to you, you sit on it. That's what happened to me between 2019 going into 2020. So from 2019 October till January this year, 2021, I never, all the people I used to connect with, the people I'll say in my circle, I never give any single advice to them again. All the people I used to push, it's been a long time I saw you at prayer meeting, this, I see something about you, I tell you, I see that you're doing this, I did not cut them off, but when I see it, I don't tell you. When you're going wayward, I don't tell anyone. You get it? And for some of them, I can see that between that time, there's something, I see some kind of delay, and I feel guilty anytime their name pop. I feel guilty for not doing what I was supposed to do. You get it? So yesterday when I heard that message that obedience is godly, then their name started coming to mind. So what if you in a different way, it worked somehow, it did not work somehow, and you feel that the next person who would have made good use of your advice suffers because of the
other people.
You get it? So I think sometimes we just need to take it slow.
So we'll take it slow. We can advise in the crowd, as Dominic says, over time. You do maybe you just take the back seat, the bench, observe, and say, God, I've done my work. The rest is in your hands.
Exactly.
Let him see what I am seeing. Let her see what I am seeing. What you have revealed, reveal to her, so that she gets it. And you see, God does not come in his nature to tell us things. He has people all around that he uses as mediums to let us know what he wants for us. Have you given up on that sibling? Have you tried prayers? Or you are tired already? You don't want to pray some more. Be more here, so Jimmy, we can understand. Jimmy Kakra, we can understand. We say things like that. But you see, when you go into your closet, you realize that you got to push more. But maybe this time around, we'll push on our knees. We'll push on our knees. So I'm out of fear. Take good care of yourself. Thank you, Dominic, for that adapt. We are so happy and grateful that you make time to listen in anytime we are here on Mondays and Wednesdays. It's a lovely family. Please like our page, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. February has a lot of good things in store. Like I'm working around the clock to get things popping. So please keep glued to this favorite Hope for the Hopeless Peny Radio, and we'll sure serve you some best meals in the month of February. Please mind your business small, pray small, advise small, and leave the rest to God. I'm out of here. Bye.
Alright, so there has been a random thought with Maxine. So I want to say a very big thank you. God bless you for staying with us. Jemima, thank you for watching. For all those who listen to us on from our website, PenyGh.com or radio.PenyGh.com, those who tune in to our YouTube channel, thank you. God bless you, PenyGh. And to those who watched us on Facebook, thank you. God bless you. Let's meet again on Monday. It has been Random Thought with Maxine. Maxine, thank you. God bless you for coming.
Thank you.